Welcome to the Host with Confidence podcast. I'm Becky Guzak, here to empower the hesitant host to entertain with confidence and ease. I'll be sharing stories, strategies, and inspiration on how to take out the stress and boost up the joy of welcoming guests into your home. Okay, let's get started. Welcome. Today, I'm excited to share my conversation with Peggy Vert, a friend who has a real gift for bringing people together. In this episode, we talk about what she calls the casual invite, simple ways to get people together that take the pressure off hosting. Let's jump right in. Tell us about yourself.
I'm sort of a jack of all trades person, to be honest with you, Becky. I grew up in a big family. I'm the youngest, and I think our life as children was always chaos. So I think I have a high tolerance for it. As life's gone on, I've walked through many different careers, been a mom and businesswoman, and I just really appreciate friends and family and the time that we spend together now. A value-driven life, those are the values that I hold first and foremost.
That's awesome. That's an inspiring way to think about life. You got me going on that, 5-6 years ago, how you want to live deliberately. Another thing that you taught me was this has to be the year of absolutely yes. It can't just be, maybe I want to do it. Tell us more about that.
I did a life coaching certification program with Alan Cohen, and he has a saying, if it's a yes, it's a no. It should be a hell yes. That planted the seed for me. Is it a yes or a hell yes? And I think we all know when we hear a question if it's a hell yes, because there's not the hesitation and you get that bit of excitement. So that was the genesis of that question for me, was from Alan Cohen.
You have a lot of friends. You've got a big community, a lot of different communities. Was it hard for you to say no then?
I'll be honest with you. I think most people have a difficult time saying no. We have shame and regret and a lot of emotions that come up with saying no, particularly when it's a family situation or a group of old friends. So yes, absolutely. I definitely had difficulty saying no. In the beginning, I even had difficulty defining was it a yes or a hell yes. There were a few things in between that I had to think about. With practice, it became much more clear.
Right. And now that's something that you still hold.
I do. In relation to the ability to say no, one of the biggest skills I learned during that time was you can hesitate. You can say, let me think about that. And there's a great big power in let me think about that, because it gives you time to reflect before you commit.
You're more authentic as well. When you make your decision, you know you're in or you're not. I love that. Well, the mission of this episode is to inspire the hesitant host to be brave enough to make an invite. I wanted to read an invite that I received from you last summer. You texted, I'm getting together with a group of gals next Wednesday, just a casual summer girls' night. Bellevue Brewing Company patio, August 6th, 4:30 to 7, open house style. Pop in if you can. Please pass along too. You sent that out a week before. It was so fun and refreshing to receive as a guest or a invitee. You could stop and think, next week. It's not planned out too far. It really fit well. For me, it was a hell yes. I don't know how you did the text, but you did it in groups of people that I knew. So I knew 2 other people on the text, and that helped me understand who might be there. Tell me about how you came across doing this. Is this something you've done often, or was this an experiment?
That particular ask was an experiment. And I have to say that it grew from a conversation with one of my friends, Brenda. And we said, oh gosh, I miss seeing everybody. The weather's improving. I'd love to have the girls over. And she said, yeah, that sounds great. Should we do it at my house or your house? And I had recently been to Bellevue Brewing, and they have a big patio. And I thought it might be fun to just gather someplace that's just easy for everyone. And I trusted that there'd be enough space on a weeknight because their patio is so large. And so we chatted about it. And I think the genesis was to bring people together. Neither of us had to worry about the hostess role. And there's a little bit for everyone, easy parking. The last bit of it, pass it along. When you're getting a group of couples or gals together, there's always for me a little bit of hesitation. I don't want to exclude anyone. So adding that last little pass it along, you lose control of knowing who's coming or who's not coming, but it also means everybody's welcome. That was the spirit of that
Oh,
ask.
and I remember being a recipient thinking, oh, my girlfriend Cheryl would love to join. And she wasn't able to make it, but still it thought, oh no, I'm going to go with a friend and introduce her to these other wonderful women. And it was fun for me to meet people that you've talked about over the years because you invited people from different circles.
Yes, that was the other piece that I thought was nice about going to Bellevue Brewing, because if you've never met someone and you have a casual ask to go to their house, I think there's a little bit more apprehension perhaps of showing up. And if it's a public place and you know some people and there wasn't a defined time, so it was kind of open house. So some people could come up after work, some people showed up before their kids' practices. That worked out well.
It really did. And I loved how that whole feeling of just come with whatever you're dressing for what you're doing right now. Some people just got done from a run. Some people were going to an event after. Some people showed up after work. So it just felt casual, easy. And I love that.
I'm glad you enjoyed it and glad it worked out. That was a new ask for me, but it's
Right.
inspired many more. And
You had a ripple
Something
effect
to-
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you more of a thorough planning person or a spontaneous person or a mixture? Or
I'm a mixture. I'm more likely to do something that's spontaneous, whether it be travel or planning. But there are times when you really need to plan in order to get people together. You need to plan ahead to make sure that people have things on their calendar. So I think in particular, if you're celebrating a ritual or a big life event, those are typically more formal asks and they're more planning ahead. Or if it's a big trip and you're going to Europe, that's something where I'll be planning ahead. But more and more, I just really enjoy the casual last minute. Let's do it. You don't have to worry about the weather. There's so many factors that dissolve if you do it last minute. You already know, okay, it's raining. We're going to be sitting by the fire. Do you want to pop in? It lends itself to more ease, in my opinion.
more ease and less stress for a lot of people too. Because sometimes if you've got a long time to think about it, you might tend to overthink it.
That's true. I think it also, by nature, becomes a smaller event. You're not going to have 100 people at an impromptu ask. And I think that these little micro gatherings or scaling something to be a little bit smaller and informal, I think people can sometimes connect a little bit more easily.
Right.
I also have noticed over the years, I'm a grandmother now, and
Congratulations.
you.
He's so
And-
stinking cute.
and my daughter is in the throes of having a young child around. And I think that for people who have young children or who are introverted or life has just gotten super busy, sometimes something last minute, if it works, it works. But there's less of the overthinking.
Right.
It's typically show up as you are. This is what we're doing. That's another reason that I found the casual asks work. I've really been proud of seeing my daughter say, oh my gosh, we just moved into this place. The house is a mess, but we have a lot of Lego. So we're inviting people over to play with the Lego and have pancakes. Did that this weekend. And I thought, that's awesome.
I had some perfection issue problems back in the day, and that would have been really nice to just been able to let go of a messy house and still have people over. Now I can do it, no problem.
Well, I think that that's a societal thing. When my kids were younger, I think that's part of the reason I'm proud of my daughter. I definitely worried about having the house clean and so forth. And I tended to entertain more in the summer where I could say, we're going to be outside. And I didn't have to worry so much about getting the house clean with the kids running around. I also feel as if there's just in general that anxiety about the myth of the perfect host. Everyone has some of that at some level. Pressure is released a bit. It's just not existent. If you say, hey, house is dirty, wine is open,
Right.
come by for a cup of tea, or if it's a rainy day, the house is messy, but the fire's going, or it's beautiful outside, we'll be in the garden. Those types of just being real about my house isn't perfect, but I'd love to see you. The restaurant piece works if you have someplace that's casual, because you want people to come as they are. and can accommodate a larger group. So that's sort of the secondary piece. And then there's always like the park or trail ask. I packed some trail mix. Do you want to go for a walk? Or I'm pitching a blanket at the park and ordering pizza. Can you make it? I got a text from a friend recently, and this speaks more to the singles crowd. It basically said, I'm going to be eating at this restaurant alone, but you can change that.
Oh, that's so cute.
It just made me laugh. And I thought, okay, I definitely want to join. There are some really easy ways that don't take a lot of planning that can be a way to host a group of people, whether it's small or large.
Bringing people together at any budget, at any level, inclusive,
Yes.
large or small. Those are great ideas. It's inspiring and it takes pressure off people, and it's more relatable too.
It is more relatable. It's asking, instead of show up at this time for this thing, more specifics. Let's show up and be real. Let's see what real life looks like. I think it's refreshing.
So what advice would you give to the hesitant host?
That's a great question, Becky. Thank you for asking that. I think number one, a hesitant host is typically hesitant for specific reasons, like perfectionism, as you just mentioned, or feeling overload in life. So feeling, I don't know that I can handle this. So I think I would say, instead of thinking about hosting as a big event or something that's clearly defined, think of it more as giving someone a window into your life and inviting them to come and join you to see what your real life is like.
That's beautiful.
That's the advice I would give, because that's what we really want to connect.
We just want to connect. Yeah. Well, you're the queen of facilitating gatherings and connecting people.
Well, I wanted to genuinely thank you for having me on this podcast.
Peggy, I appreciate that. And thank you to you. You've always been such an inspiration to me.
Thank you, Becky. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks for joining us for this conversation with Peggy Vert. I hope it inspires you to make a casual invite of your own, because connection really does start with an invitation. If you have any topic ideas, stories, or questions, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at hostwithconfidence@gmail.com. Until next time, happy hosting. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Host with Confidence podcast. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to help you along your hosting journey. Please remember that the key to hosting with confidence is all about embracing your unique style, having a plan, and enjoying the process alongside your guests. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite platform. Your feedback and support are greatly appreciated and helps us build a stronger community.
Cheers.